Born in Edinburgh, Scotland, after a rebellious youth, he studied law, became a lawyer, but never exercised his profession. Stevenson meets an American woman 10 years older than him, Fanny Osborne, start working full-time as a writer. It doesn't take long, and Stevenson has the opportunity to publish his first stories. In addition to various stories, he also began writing essays and poems for several periodicals. The originality of his narrative style is given by the balance between imagination and clarity. In 1886, he published The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The narration of a case of split personality takes a powerful allegorical value, illuminating the forces of good and evil present in human nature. The story is set in London during the 19th century. The novel is told by the lawyer's Utterson boys, an old friend of Dr. Jekyll. Utterson and Enfield were strolling through the streets of London when at a certain point they ran into a basement that brings back to Enfield the time when a rather strange and repulsive man had run over and then stepped on a little girl. That time Enfield had managed to reach the man and had managed to get him to repay the child's family money. At the point, this mysterious man named Edward Hyde had paid a check in the name of a respectable Dr. Henry Jekyll, close friend of Utterson, his testamentary custodian. After many checks, the check was authentic. Utterson became suspicious when Jekyll decides to devote all of his inheritance to Hyde in case he died or disappeared, at which point Utterson determined to find out the truth, made contact with Dr. Lennon. Utterson believes that Jekyll is being blackmailed by Hyde, also because Hyde has full access to Jekyll's home and medical laboratory. After days of stalking, he also managed to cross Hyde and is deeply troubled by the repugnance and the impression of devil that emanates from him. However, in a private interview, Jekyll reassures his friend about his relationship with Hyde without revealing anything. After exactly 1 year, London public opinion is turned upside down by a crime. Sir Danvers, a client of Utterson, is beaten to death while he is on his way to the lawyer to give him a letter. Utterson leads the police to Jekyll's laboratory, finding the remains of wooden stick used as a murder weapon. Hyde instead has disappeared. Jekyll, questioned by his friend, explained that his relationship with Hyde has been completely interrupted, bearing witness to a letter of Hyde. After a period of serenity, Jekyll falls back into isolation, taking refuge in his laboratory. Lennon dies after a shock at Jekyll's home. He leaves a letter for Utterson where he explains the reason for his death, saying he only opened it after Jekyll's disappearance. Utterson and Enfield, more and more worried during one of their walks, stop under the windows of Jekyll's house and converse briefly with his friend, until the latter, with a grimace, closes the text and takes refuge inside the home. A week after this mysterious episode, Jekyll's butler goes to Utterson and tells him that Jekyll has shut himself up in the office, from which screams come, along with the continuous request for a specific drug. Utterson and Enfield go to the study, break through the door and find Hyde dead and a letter addressed by Jekyll to Utterson. The letter reads first a memorial of deceased Lennon and then Jekyll's letter. In the first, the reason of the trauma that killed Lennon is revealed. He saw Hyde drinking a potion that turned him into Jekyll. In the second letter, Jekyll explains how he became Mr. Hyde. In 1941, the director Victor Fleming made a film version of the novel by departing from the plot of the novel itself. The very first difference, it can be noted at the beginning, when Utterson and Enfield are taking a walk and stopping to talk about an episode that came back to Enfield. The film instead starts processing the scenes of a man inside a church that seems to have gone mad. The man in question is taken to the hospital by Dr. Jekyll, In the book, there are no love stories or relevant female figures. Instead, in the film, we have Dr. Jekyll who is engaged to Beatrice, while Hyde intervenes with Eva, a dancer in a London club. In the book, we don't have the real explanation of Dr. Jekyll's death, as the writer leaves the imagination to the reader, even if it is understood that Dr. Jekyll will proceed with the last transformation while the film ends with the death of Hyde, killed by his friend Lennon. Finally, the last difference is that Mr. Utterson in the book is the lawyer of Dr. Jekyll and is an important figure, as well as the first person who which doubts arise about Jekyll. In the film, the figure of Utterson does not appear. So, the originality of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde lies in Stevenson's choice to make God and evil coincide within the same personality, as two sides of the same coin. The novel is presented as a reflection on the hidden sides of the human personality that are upset and overturned by the theme of the double, which reveals our daily life. Jekyll often felt like having fun, and since his pleasures were not decent, and since he was a person not only known and considerate but also close to maturity, this incoherence of his life became more and more unpleasant every day. That was why he created his evil side, the other part of himself, regardless of any crime and careless of any feeling, a figure so free to make mistakes. The subjective and at the same time social dimension of evil, to which Stevenson shapes with the disgusting figure of Hyde, anticipates and almost foreshadows the psychoanalytic researches of Sigmund Freud. The choice to treat his novel stems from my passion for psychology and for the study of the psyche. Personally, I think that this is one of the most discussed issues and dilemmas during the 19th century,